Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do my review of Married at First Sight, Season 18, Decision Day. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. I just want to let you all know that this is live. Therefore, my dogs are going to be barking because my daughter is on her way home from work. So there is going to be an interruption. No problem. I'll open the door, let them downstairs, and then I'll come right back. Okay. Just wanted to let you all know. Also, let me run this banner real quick. Okay. Viewer discretion is advised. I cuss. If you stay here from this point on, you want to hear it. You have been warned. Now, I am going to try to stay as calm as possible during this review with you all. Okay, I'm going to try. Now, I said try. Didn't say I was. I said I was going to try to stay as calm as possible while doing this review. Okay, so I thank you all so much for being here. Y'all follow us. Make sure you have your subscribe button on because on Saturday, I am going to have a couple of panelists on. I want to see if I can get a couple more, but we're going to have a panel discussion called Dear Dr. Pia. Okay, so y'all make sure that y'all bring that y'all come on into the live on Saturday. I usually don't do it on Saturday, but I want to have a panel discussion as we go on and move on into the season. I didn't really like the format in which they did this particular show. We all watched it together during our watch along party, and yeah. It left a lot to be desired, but as always, in my humorous way, we're going to break this motherfucker down. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jay. Say so. He said, I'm here for the real for real. Okay. Thank you, Boo. Okay. I see y'all down there in the comments section. I'm so glad you all are here with me. I am really trying to maintain in the membrane. Okay. So I'm going to be doing it in only the style that I know how to do, but we're going to talk about each couple at a time. And yeah, I hope y'all are here for the ride. So the first couple that I want to talk about is Juan and Carla, who basically already knew that they weren't going to stay together. I don't know why they wasted our time with the two of them. They ended up having a very good friendship out of this. Carla, we opened up the episode with Juan talking to his parents about his relationship with Carla, and was talking about there being no intimacy in the relationship. And so basically, Juan's mother felt like, okay, y'all just friends. Okay. Friends with no benefits. Okay. So, he just never could find his way around. And Carla, on the other hand, tried to, make a bad situation better. Okay. Juan ended up saying during decision day that, he felt like she was coming up with the spiritual stuff and all that, making excuses for that. And Carla said, hey, I wasn't ramming this down your throat by making you get up every Sunday to go to church, or I wasn't making you do this or that, right? Basically, I only did it one time. Juan just wasn't attracted to her, and I don't believe that Juan came on the show for the best reasons, if you will. I believe that Juan had a goal, and that was advertising his company and his business. He didn't get enough airtime. I'm sure that there was probably a lot of things that Juan talked about. At the end of the day, the two of them decided that they were not for each other, that there was not a connection. And I had taken notes on what Carla said. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick, because I did take some handy dandy notes. on Carla's expressions, right, to him. And so let me see if I can pull that up real quick, y'all, just real fast, okay? Because like I said, I took notes. I had to take notes on this because outside of the drama, there really wasn't anything there, okay? Um, Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I think I got the fonts too big. I think that's what. Oh yeah, the fonts is way too big. Hold on, y'all. Let me reduce the fonts on this file. Okay, just one second. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't have time to play with you. I need you to reduce the fonts on this month, okay? And I don't need this mouse to be going slow like this. We got a whole lot of ground to cover tonight, and so I need you to be cooperative, okay? So I am in control. First of all, I don't even like the font that you selected for me. Okay, I would like something that's more like New Times Roman, but you gave me this jacked up ass font that I have to deal with. Okay, so the least thing that you could do is play. You know what I'm saying? Did I delete this? Okay, so Carla said, there's this is magic for me. She said, I like, that he balances me and I want to be able. She said, there's a difference between unity and sameness. Um, People can be unified and be different. So she said, I would like to say that I would like to be with someone that shares the same interests and not exactly everything alike. But like for me, I mean, that's why I go to the gym every day. Okay. She said, she was talking about the Pilates instructor and all of that kind of stuff. She said, but it's just a totally different for me. Okay. I did Pilates. He said he did Pilates with her, but for him, it's totally different experience. He wants somebody who does exactly what he does. Okay. So Carla basically was letting him know, I believe she said that there's sometimes when we don't allow ourselves to experience something outside of what we might feel. She said, if you really want to be in a relationship with somebody, you will do the things that make them happy, just like they do the things that make you happy. And she said, you get up in the morning, basically he was criticizing her about being asleep and stuff like that. But she was like, even if it's something that you're not interested in, when you're in a relationship with somebody, or, with the woo woo and the boo boo boo, you do what you need to do in order, you will accommodate yourself, right? So as I have told y'all before, if a man is interested in a woman, and I mean when I say interested, I mean interested, he will, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no river wide enough. It's not. He will stop what he's doing, swallow what he's chewing to be with you. And he never did that for her. This was more of a friendship. And I was glad that, because at first I thought maybe Carla's going to say yes. But Carla's a small girl. She's played dumb for the sake of one. Okay, for the sake of Juan, Carla has played dumb, and we must admit that she was. He's saying that he's not into this, he's not into that, and all of that kind of stuff. But you know what? She has a way of saying things, and like I said, Carla, in my opinion, played dumb for him. But Carla is in no means a dummy. Okay, she knew exactly what she wanted, exactly what she did not want out of this relationship. And she wasn't satisfied with him either. She wanted to cuddle. She wanted to know about family. And then the thing about it is Juan was never ever vulnerable with her about the things that are in his life. He was always interested with her in her, judging her and making decisions based on what it was. But I think that when he saw her, while he think that she's a beautiful woman, because her dress and her hair, everything was just perfect, he just was not interested in getting to know her past her flaws. And that's a really bad place to be in when you're in a relationship with somebody who's just looking at you for your flaws and quick to try to tell you what to do. She had even gotten to the point where she was like, okay, you know what, when I go out on a date with him, this is a fact finding training course. She was bringing tablets and notebook paper and you know what I'm saying, to have dinner with her husband. And so, at that point, Carla had already tapped out of the relationship, but the two of them had a good time together and they ended up, going for a divorce. And I think that that was the best thing for them. The next couple was Camille and Thomas. And Camille and Thomas, of course, were the only hopeful couple that we had in this whole entire season. And I think that a lot of us was rooting for it. Back in the day when I had first started covering this show years ago, we would be rooting for couples where we saw conflict, but they were much more successful relationships. And this was really about love. I don't know what this has turned into, but this is not about love. These are about, in my opinion, people who want to be, want to increase their social media platforms and stuff like that. And they got other things in mind as far as what their goal for being on the show is. I also think that a lot of the things that they do and say with one another is very manipulated by them because they know that they're going to be coming off, in such a way where the fans and stuff like that are going to be really about against them on TikTok, Reddit, or whatever. The platform is different. When I was doing and when I first started doing this, it was very few people who were even covering this show when I first started covering. And now it's it is saturated. Social media is saturated with MAFS. And so I think that a lot of what they do is because of that. Now we got, Camille and Thomas. And like I said, they were our only hopeful couple, the only couple that we thought would be together. The thing that I don't like about Camille is that Camille makes everything about Thomas. She, in my opinion, made some very unfair statements when she, was talking about Thomas. Now, mind you, Thomas has not made a plan. Okay. The two of them go out with each other and they have like a dinner and stuff together. And this is where, they're talking about, basically the rubber hitting the road. Where are we going to stay? And I was shocked by that because even when we was watching it, I was shocked by that because should have already been resolved. This is not something you do the day before decision day. If this was something that was really burning in Camille's mind as a woman, you already gonna have that conversation with him. That should already have been okay. Okay, just 1 second, y'all. Okay, she's home. Hold on. So I'm back and I'm free. Okay. So I just felt like, Camille and Thomas should have been had this conversation. It's almost like she nitpicks at, she picks at little things about Thomas that she doesn't like. First of all, he wasn't black enough. Second of all, he didn't have swag enough. Now, her decisions that she makes is based on Thomas taking the lead. But this girl started off at the honeymoon, and I pointed it out at the honeymoon that she said that she is one of those type of people that want to be in charge, right? And the thing about it is, okay, and I know y'all are gonna probably disagree with me, and it's okay because we're here for the conversation. I've learned in my age, right? And I think I've learned it years ago by watching other women. If you really don't want to take the lead, don't take the lead. Some things you have to allow to fall. You just gotta allow it to not get done. She's saying that, she wants Thomas to take the lead. I do agree that Thomas should have taken the lead about where they're going to stay at. It should not be something that, he's iffy about. Now he knows that this is that as a result, okay, hear me all the way out before you start throwing your rocks. He knows that this is going to it could be detrimental to his relationship with Camille. Not living in the same place. The experts have also told Thomas, you need to be together, right? The fire's going to burn out. If Thomas does not man up and do what Thomas is supposed to do, and the relationship suffers because of that. If I'm a woman and I'm saying I don't want to be in charge of stuff, and I want my man to take the lead, y'all, and I know this sounds silly. Don't do that. Is Ray Della here? Excuse me, y'all. If I really want my man to take the lead, I have to let my man take the lead, even to the point where something falls, something drops, or it falls. It is what it is until it's not what it's not. Thomas has already been warned. He's already been warned that this could be detrimental to your relationship. But I don't like the fact that Camille made it about her and not taking responsibility for making sure that this was a conversation that was at the forefront of every breakfast, not to the point where you nag it. But this conversation needs to be brought to the forefront. We need to talk about this and come to some kind of conclusion about where we're going to stay. Thomas is like, my place isn't big enough. I guess they are both in leases. I'm not going to take the lead on this, Thomas. If we're going to be together, we're going to be together. If we not, we not. But I refuse to be in a relationship where I have to feel like I'm the one that is wearing the pants in a relationship. When I am in relationship with men, right, I am very submitted in my relationships. Not to the point where I'm weak, because I can never be weak now. But I'll always take the lead of the man. Whatever that man, however he flows, I flow. Now, if I find that I can't flow with him, then we don't flow. We don't stay together. If I believe that he is indecisive and is unable to run his household, let alone my household, then we just not going to be together. And there's a way to walk away from that relationship. Now, I understand that they're married, but if this is something that Camille is still struggling with, and so is Thomas, I don't know why they said yes at decision day, because she's going to always, in my opinion, play these games around Thomas and make Thomas the responsible party for decisions that she could help him make, or maybe she could take away that false sense of humility and saying, I don't want to control it, and just control it. Just control the relationship. Thomas seems like he's one of those guys, but Thomas' whole thing is you want me to make decisions about stuff, Camille, but you ain't been vulnerable. And vulnerability is what I want from you. He said, it's not like I want you boohooing and crying all the time, right? He said, but I need you to be vulnerable. And I think that when he says vulnerable, I think that he means womanly. I think feminine. Y'all, I'm telling you, I know y'all throwing stuff. But I think that what he does not see in her is femininity. Y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, these are my opinions, but I think that that is what he is saying. Not vulnerable. You're not feminine. I don't see the femininity coming out of you. Because she want him to do her, right? But then she doesn't want to do anything with him. She doesn't want to satisfy him in the areas. Now, I don't know if she's doing that now that she's found out that he is actually black or not. But Camille, and it's not to say, y'all, I don't want y'all to misunderstand what I'm saying. It's not to say that women who play basketball or play sports are not feminine. I don't think it's that. And I don't want y'all to think that I think that women who play sports are not feminine because I used to run track. Okay. But I do believe that there is a feminine part of Camille that he wants to see it. He doesn't see it. And he's calling it vulnerability. She's probably a boss at work and she's probably a boss at home. And then when they get to decision day, she wants to bring up the fact that he was in a 8-9 year relationship and decided to walk away from the young woman, right? This is what, she brings up. And but you've known that all this time. So if that was, something that was going to cause you to question whether or not you needed to be with him, that's your responsibility to process that. But again, and I wrote it down. I wrote hers down too. Let me see if I can find it, bitch. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Because I wrote it down, just kind of questioning the stuff that she was saying on her daggone mouth. She says, so they says, this definitely leads to, I try not to let feelings dictate how I feel, how I make rational decisions. But also you have to look at longevity and the logic behind it too. So he's like, okay, yeah, I would agree. I know we've kind of tossed around different ideas about decision day, living arrangements, things like that. What are your thoughts on that? Like move out day, where are we going? Where are we going? Why isn't this resolved? This is going to be a long video. Why isn't this already resolved? Why are we at decision day making this decision? This is like you having this conversation the night before your wedding. It's this way that she says, she said, what are we doing? Where are we going? What are we doing? So Thomas says, so I know when we talked to Pastor Cal, he suggested that if we were going to go separate in separate residence, right, at different places, we could lose the traction on what we've built. But I also got to look at this realistically. He says, so it's going to take time to make that happen. I would love for you to just move in with me, but I don't have the space to support that. And so I think initially that would be my first thought. I think that There's one thing that I want to kind of push on you that I'm looking for, and I'm needing to feel for you to do that for me to feel better about saying yes at decision day. It's not just looking up and wondering, okay, what's next? It's about the progression and feeling prioritized or important enough to make plans for this kind of thing. But okay, so if he did not, if you want him to prioritize you, when are you, Camille, prioritizing him? Prioritizing him is saying, baby, I want to be with you. I want us to live together. We haven't had a conversation about this. I really need to talk to you about this, honey. And like we've got to deal with this. You can't look at him and say, okay, he's not making these arrangements, so he hasn't prioritized me. But then in a way you can, right? It depends on, which way you look at it. You can say Juan didn't I'm calling him Juan. Thomas did not prioritize this. Wasn't a priority about where they lived at. Why? Is it because Thomas is very comfortable where he is and where the relationship is? Does Thomas really want to live with Camille? Like, I'm questioning that kind of stuff too. But again, you don't go the day before decision day and try to have these fucking conversations. This should have already been done. And if she felt like he wasn't prioritizing her, and this was, lady, this is for y'all. If you feel like a man isn't prioritizing you, then you prioritize yourself. People are going to only treat you the way that you allow them to treat you. And when you stand down and you call that being humble, it's not humble. It's not taking care of your own priorities, not taking care of yourself. What's important to you? You got to do that on your own. So he turns around when she tells him that she's not having a need met. And he said, well, you know what? We both say yes. What's our next move going to be? I want this stuff to be concrete. I don't know what's going to happen decision day. And she has already told him in a prior date that she didn't know whether or not she was going to say, oh, you know what? This is what it is. Thank you. I had a good time. You can't be both things, Camille. You got to be one or the other. She's played games with this man's mind, even to the point where they decided to say yes. She came up with this little, he had a basketball made for her and everything. He's just the sweetest, thoughtfulest guy, right? And when you got a base like that, right? If you got a base of a man that is sweet and thoughtful, all the other stuff you can work the fuck on. And you don't learn that until you get older like me. You look back at past relationships. I mean, not many of mine, but you look back at past relationships and you be like, you know what? I could have really worked on that with him. But when you're young and you think you got the rest of your fucking life, you don't even think that way. Now, I'm not giving Thomas a pass because Thomas should have made these decisions. I just did not like the way that she said everything that you do is a counter. Let me find the words, bitch. So she says that she wants to be secure. She wants this man to take the lead. You got to teach him how to take the lead. He's workable, god dag it. When you brought him a daggone molding kit for the anniversary, he brought you a necklace and looked at the colors that complemented. I'm telling you, women, you don't know what you got until you don't have it anymore. Thomas C got these plans in his head. She said, but Thomas, you got to realize that I need you to articulate and communicate those plans in your head. I thought that was fair. You can't just sit around and think about it, Thomas. You got to tell her what you're thinking. He has to tell her. But then he says, but we have issues with vulnerability. really putting ourselves out there. So there's something that Thomas feels like she is withholding from him by not being vulnerable. He said, I feel like through this entire process, I've been more vulnerable than I've been in my life. That's what she said. Okay. The thing about it is, the two of them ended up saying, yes, thank God. Okay. Do do da 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 da. On to the next couple, Allan and Madison. Bitch. Let's switch. Allan is done. Y'all, I'm sorry, I'm having some type of technical issues too. Um, I don't know why they forced this on these people, but I love the fact that Allan wore that jacket that he brought from that daggone. Allan came up in there, honey, with that jacket that he tried on downtown at the shop. Yes, he did. Allan appears to have grown up about 5 years as far as maturity. Allan, I know that we all was concerned about Allan and Allan was hurt, but this has matured Allan to a level that Allan wasn't at when we first met him. This is not the same person. And unfortunately, for some, Allan, people like Allan have to grow up and find out about life through her. I know y'all don't agree with me. It's going to be a lot of stuff y'all not going to agree with me about, but this has grown Allan the fuck up. And it is taking away that little boy want to make everybody happy, want to please everybody, want to tap dance, want to change my way and change who I am. Allan is now in the stage of fuck you and fuck it. This is who I am. Okay, this is who I am. You take me or you leave me. I'm presenting myself as who I am. And this is how Allan now has to move through life, by not kissing ass, by not thinking that if you change yourself to please someone, that they're going to be pleased. You're going to have to be authentically who you are. And this is maybe what Allan needed to learn and to find out, this is who I am. And I'm going to be who I am. And I realize that changing and altering myself is not going to get me what I want. And I think that if Allan may have been, well, I don't know, because Madison for the streets, right? But Allan, I'm talking to you right now. This was a lesson you needed to learn. I hate the way you learned it. I hate that you learned it out in public. But Allan, changing yourself to fit somebody else never does anything for yourself. The only thing that it does is keep you forever trying to change your way and change who you are. It's going to always keep you there. You start with one, you do it with all. This is what it is. And you had to get you a straight up street girl, okay? A transactional girl. You saw the writing on the wall when you called her transactional. Allan, you knew exactly who she was and what she was. But you thought that you could turn a hoe into a housewife. But no, you're going to find out that this housewife that you wanted is going to be living downtown in David's mom and them basement. But anyway, bitch, let's go through the notes that I have on this couple. Shall we? Yes, we shall. So, when Allan comes in, Dr. P and Dr. Pep and Dr. Calvin are all there. This is their, decision day, and the decision has already been made. And so, he comes in, and they're all sympathetic and everything to him and kind of pitying him in a way. And, Dr. Pastor Calvin tells him, we're sorry, we really thought that this was going to be a match. And so Allan was like, okay, I know that y'all thought it was going to be a match and all of that kind of stuff. And that kind of thing. So Madison comes in. Madison has that I don't give a fuck attitude. Let's go ahead and get this on so I can move on with the rest of my life. So they start off saying, I know the two of you have not talked since everything blew up. Now that you're facing your husband again, what do you have to say, Madison? Madison, look, I want to start with an apology, right? Even if it doesn't go far, because Allan has already told her anything and everything that you say, I don't give a fuck about it. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to change how I feel about it. She said, I'm truly sorry for hurting you and for the pain that I can see I have caused you. This wasn't something that was intentional. Every action that you do is intentional. Every action that you do, and you did, Madison, both you and David, because it takes a lot to be sneaky. Let's not talk about this wasn't intentional. This was fucking intentional. Because you covered it up as long as you could until your dumbass boyfriend sent a text message to the wrong phone. Had it not been for that, they would have went to decision day. So don't sit there and say that it wasn't intentional. She said it wasn't something she planned for, and she had no malicious intent. The malicious intent came in, Madison, when your ad started lying. That's malicious. She said, I should have been more honest about my feelings in the beginning, and I know that's not right, and that's not the right way I should have handled it. But I do want you to know that I see how much effort you put in, and I was starting to have, he said, let me cut this bullshit off. Allan said, you saw how much effort I was putting in this. And I thought that we were starting to have something, whatever it may have been. But why make me go on these dates and you dangle the carrot of hope when you already had essentially in your head made up your mind you was going to be pursuing David? I didn't have my mind made up right away. Allan, every conversation that we had, every date that we went on, everything that we did, it was real, Allan. Like everything that we talked about was real. And you could believe it or not. See, that's her and David's thing. You could believe it or not. I did want to come in this experience to find my person, and I should have been honest with you. I should have been more honest about that. I didn't see that with you, and I'm sorry for that. Realistically, I could tell, that you ain't like me. He said, I knew I shouldn't have ever had to work as hard as I had to work to get you to like me. And here you've been, Madison, playing this game with David for weeks. And you was continuing in this relationship. And I think that that is just disgusting, repulsive. And I thought much, much higher of you. I didn't think that you was the type of horn ass woman that you are and that you would do something like that. Well, Allan, you know what? I came here to apologize and I've done that. And I really don't have anything else to say. Allan said, divorce time. It's time to divorce. So Dr. Pia says, Madison, what is causing your demeanor right now? I can sense the anger. I don't know if he's going to hold off and back smack the I don't know if he's going to hold off and back the shit out of me. I don't know. I don't feel like anything that I say to Allan right now is gonna make it better. Make it better. So you know what? Fuck it. Just let me go ahead on up out of here. I fulfilled my end of the contract, and I'm just gonna do what I do. Allan's like, I don't care. She said, I don't know what. I can't be no bed door, horse in the ground, and I can't make him feel no kind of way. And Doctor and I don't know why I'm here. And Pastor Calvin was like, it's for closure. Alice said, I don't need no fucking closure. He said, I don't need no closure. He said Madison is easy to get over. She said she's easy to get over and get under. He said, I don't need it. He said, I don't have no questions or nothing. I just want to be divorced with her. And it ain't nothing on God green earth that's going to make me stay with this bitch. So she said, I just want to be able to move on too. So Dr. Calvin was like, so it's moving on with David. She said, I mean, I guess. I mean, we got a golf date as soon as this bitch is over. Soon as it is over, we got a date. We got a date. They sit up there trying to make the girl feel bad. She doesn't feel bad. Because why would a hoe ever feel bad about being a hoe? A hoe is a hoe is a hoe is a hoe. It just is what it is. And ladies, we know we got friends like that. Come on now. Come on. Let me fix my wig. Yeah, let me fix my wig. Y'all know we got hoe friends. Men, y'all know y'all got hoe friends. We got hoe friends. And we know how they think, don't we? It is what it is. We all know some Madisons. I know I do. If you don't, I do. He said, does that mean that you're going to continue your pursuit and connection with David? Is that what that means? Is that what that means moving forward? She said, I mean, it's possible, bitch. I think right now I'm just focused on healing myself until my golf day. It's a tough situation, but we can't help how we feel. Dr. Pepper was like, we just feel really bad for Allan because he was a very trusting guy. I always thought that you were pretty valiant trying to figure out how to appreciate him. But bitch, I had no idea that you was trying to get to know David behind his back. And yeah, I said it, signed Dr. Pepper, bitch. Is there anything else you want to say? Allan said, there's no part of me that wants to be married to this woman. No part that wants to be married to her. She is out of there. She is moving on. The next couple is David and Madison. And I must say that David acted like an asshole. I myself knew that David was a basement dweller and a kid in his mind. But did I ever think that David would act like this? No, I did not. If I had secondhand, third hand, and fourth hand embarrassment for the way that David has always slouched down. This guy has no drive, in my opinion. He can't even sit up in a chair and have a decent conversation. I really believe that he lacks the vocabulary to articulate what he has to say, and therefore he just goes to being a damn child. He says that he is a good man that comes from a good family, and I question everything about that. Dr. Pierre, don't nobody give a flying fuck on whether or not you have lost respect for him. Well, you should have lost respect for him when you saw his fucking application said that he lived at home in his parents' basement. And you're not getting away with anything, Dr. Pepper. I mean, Dr. Pia, because we're going to read your ass come Saturday. The audacity of you to sit there and judge this man more harshly than you did with Madison. You should have read Madison's ass. Because Madison nose was flaring up, her shoulders was damn near on the attached to the back of her earlobes, and you let her get away with it easy. The only thing you ask her, why are you seeing those emotions? But you want to sit there and read David fulfilled? Well, then you had that same smoke for Ikichi. Oh, but when you looked at the thing and you saw that she wanted a Drake like guy, you looked at David and said, "Oh, he looked like Drake. He light skinned like Drake. He got the hair like Drake. This is the match." Well, how'd that turn out? And there's no way in the world that I, in my opinion, going to let the experts slide on this match. But David, you didn't do anybody any favors. You let Michelle's nasty ass walk out this relationship being a superstar. A fucking superstar. He lacks intelligence. And Dr. Calvin, Pastor Calvin sits there and say, "Oh, you the type of person you shut down." No, he's the type of person who didn't give a fuck from the beginning. This man does not have any type of integrity. When we saw them, he was looking at this girl when they first got off the plane taking a toast. He does not know boundaries. He has no self-control whatsoever. And the only thing that Michelle did was give him an excuse in his mind to fuck around with Madison and still smile in Allan's face. And then you get there and you can't talk. You shut down by being rude. And then you shake your hair, your ponytail at the end and say, "Did you like me?" You should have asked this bitch day one. And Michelle doesn't have any maturity either because she was sitting up in the bathroom crying on her wedding day because he smoked cigarettes and lived with his mama. She had already canceled this man out before they even got up to the hotel suite downtown in the bathroom of her reception. He never had a chance, but he did not have to play his cards this way. There's a way to run a Boston on somebody in spades, and there's a way not to. You ain't got to snatch nobody's soul. Michelle, let me tell you, you went through some stuff, but bitch, you earned everything that you got from him, in my humble opinion. And that's my opinion. But the audacity of the experts to stand back and act like they don't have no blood on their hands. You all set these two people up together. You should have did more research. I said from day one, A1, when I found out that David lived at home with his parents, I said he was never fucking qualified to be on this show. And the next thing you know, he and this daggone woman walk out of their relationship and they go on a date to the golf course. And they been kikiing and caw and conspiring with each other from the time that they got in that daggone house. Matter of fact, they've been conspiring with each other the whole time. I refuse to allow these experts to think that they don't have responsibility in this. Y'all put these people together. Matter of fact, you forced David down her fucking throat. She had already been repulsed when you said when they even asked the question about her having somebody that live at home. She was repulsed by that, but they just want to make a show and get some ratings together. Well, look at what the fuck then happened this time. Everybody, with the exception of Allan, is held responsible for how this went down. And I am not gonna give the experts a pass. I ain't doing it. I ain't got that to do. Y'all responsible for this. Y'all put these two motherfuckers together. Just like you put Carla in there with Juan. Juan probably don't even. You know what? Bitch, let me move. Let me move. Let me move. They're like, okay, so where you been? So where do we start? I know I feel like there's just been a lot of lying for probably way longer than I'm aware of. This is what Michelle is saying. Do you think David and Madison are involved? I don't know how much they're involved. I think to send messages like that, yeah, they probably have been together. So in come walks David's late ass. You notice about David and the catchy, they always late, bitch. A liar will always show up late because it's gonna get exposed. They said, David, you got anything to say? Yeah. I'm a lazy motherfucker, so let me slouch down. Fucking let me slouch down in the cheese, you know what I'm saying? I got slouch down to look as trifling as I can. With my ponytail, sitting to the hold on, bitch. Hold on, bitch. Bitch. I gotta have my ponytail to the side. Um, I'm just I'm a lazy mother. So uh, um I truly do apologize. Ah, wait a minute, bitch. I want to apologize. It truly wasn't my intention to hurt you whatsoever. That's not me. There's no, that's not the person I am. I'm a good son, a good friend, a good, just all around good guy. I ain't come from that kind of family. Um, I know I'm an embarrassment right now. But unfortunately, I caught feelings for Madison, and the trifling motherfucker that I am, I ain't even care that it wasn't right, and I know it wasn't fair to you. I should have gave my feelings to you, in regards to how I was feeling. I want happy about the marriage, and so that we could, work on those things and all that kind of stuff. But I do apologize for that. Um, you know, everything you said up until this point, that was a lie too. You know what I'm saying? I was just lying. So, David, like everything you said up until this point is a lie. How do you expect me to believe you now? You stupid bitch. So, what's funny? I'm laughing. Like I always say, you believe what you want to believe. You choose to believe. If you even choose to believe it or not. I can't help you do that. So Dr. P was like, well, can I ask why you so defensive? Where's all that defensiveness coming from? That wasn't a defensive. I just wanted to be completely done with this bullshit. I done mentally checked out. So, I mean, it's just like, you got me spinning in my head. And that's just where the fuck I'm at. And you don't see that as defensive, David? No. So Pastor Calvin was like, so that's just the kind of motherfucker you are. That's just how you are. You just that kind of slimy mother. You just a slimy mother. I mean, I'm saying, I, I just checks out. I just want to go on with my life. So going on with your life is being with Madison. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He said, I wanted my partner to like help me and everything. She didn't even ask me not one day how I felt. She didn't even ask me how I feel about nothing or nothing. And as an accomplishment, she told Dr. Pepper, we talked for 20 minutes. They was like, okay, so do you believe that, anybody feel like that? He said, I don't care. I don't care what people believe or not. Believe it. She was like, Dr. P was like, but that's very apparent, David. You're doing a great job of letting us know that you don't care. And that's why I'm saying your apology doesn't feel genuine. It just doesn't sound genuine. David was like, I don't give a fuck if it sounds genuine or not. Then he gonna snap at Madison and tell Madison, did you like me? Did you care about me? Madison, well, I was trying to. No, you didn't, Madison. You never cared about him. You never tried. Bitch, you never tried. This was a waste of our fucking time. David wants to go on and be with Madison. Let him go on and be with Madison. Both him and Madison have put up their defensive wall and they're not answering questions because they don't want to be held accountable for what they did. They want to apologize and keep it pushing so they can get the fucking. Then we got everybody get together. Madison comes up into the daggone place looking like Rudolph. And I don't know why she had on that daggone red eyeline, red eye makeup. She looked a hot ass mess. But she wanted to be red like David in every goddamn way she could. And that red dress and her red shoes just wasn't enough. She had to red her lips and red her eyebrow. Her eyelids. You going overboard, poo poo. This don't even look good. Everybody's sitting around awkward. So let's go around. Let's go around and find out, what's going on with everybody and stuff like that. Camille, well, we stayed together, still trying to play games. Carla said Juan and I decided to get a divorce. So now they get the MM. MM, all of this stuff that you talking now, you should have been talking this stuff. Why you were waiting till the end to start talking this stuff? I couldn't even understand it. I couldn't understand MM. So let me see where I took my notes off. They said, MM, how you feeling? I came into this experience open, vulnerable, and you guys saw, how things went. But I do see myself in the future still pursuing, finding a partner, someone to uplift, someone to grow with, someone to build life with, someone essentially a ride or die. It's unfortunate, that's not what happened, but you all know how much I put into this. And I mean, my efforts were not matched. My efforts were not valued and my efforts were not appreciated. And that's how we ended up here. So we ended up here. And Ketchy said, you sound like a political party trying to get votes for something. That she wants to keep going on and arguing with the man, telling him that he needs to let her take accountability for the way that he treated her. Carla said, I wasn't around you enough to have an opinion, but I know that she's given her all. But the person that was supposed to give her all to her didn't. And at the same time, he said, but I was in a relationship where I was being insulted and being made to feel small. It's just not a place that I wanted to be in. So MM is like, so leave. He came to the retreat and acting an ass. He said he didn't even want to come to the retreat. She said, look, motherfucker, we're all adults. We all make a decision, and accountability is not something that you are fucking familiar with. So he cut her off, and she was like, let me finish. You need to be accountable for the fact that you chose to come up there with that paper to embarrass me. Be accountable. You did that, so own it. You're 42 years old. He was like, okay, thank you. Well, she was like, can I finish? Take accountability for your own actions. You stonewalled me. You did not speak to me for weeks, bitch. And with me continuously repeating to reach out to you, because God's grace was in me in those moments. But let me tell you something, goddamn it, right now, God's grace is all up off of me. You don't have that no more. So at this point, I don't want to hear. I could care less what you got to say. Just like that. I don't want to hear you talking anymore. She was like, come on, baby. Now she's antagonizing him. Come on, baby. He said, I don't want to hear you talking no more. She was like, come on, baby. Come on. Come on, let me finish, okay? I had to be insulted by his mother. He said, I don't want to hear no more. This is over with them. This is over. And then they sitting there and Madison talking and having her daggone conversation. And Madison is sitting up. I mean, and Madison is telling them, y'all, all of us at this daggone room knew good and goddamn well that this relationship was not going to happen between Michelle and David. Michelle at the boss said, wait a minute, excuse me, but you can you wait until I get over there? You got something to say? Madison Red Lips was like, all right, bitch, I wait for you to come over here. You sure you want it? You sure that's what you want? Because I don't think that's what you want. And I don't think it's what Michelle wants. Because at the end of the day, Michelle did not give two fucks, excuse my language, about David. Did that give David an excuse to cheat? No, it did not. Because David's been cheating from the beginning. David never gave that relationship a chance. And I know it's shocking to hear that from me, but if they had been, when we saw them at the honeymoon and he was complimenting her arms and saying he knew she was going to be his gym buddy, it started then. David never gave Michelle an opportunity to recover, and I don't blame him. Michelle does not get a pass on this. She just doesn't. She does not get a pass. But David, you're a grown man in a little boy's head. You're very immature. And we're going to see what happens next. This was a very different season because it was infidelity inside of the base on the home team. And that's just sloppy whatever. I would never want to be with any of my friends, right, that I've grown up with throughout the years, and there'd be infidelity amongst that team because that's just nasty. That's almost like incest to me. When you all a family and that stuff like that go on, and somebody in the group is messing with somebody else's husband or wife, that's just nasty down to the core. And there's no recovering from that. But Michelle, let me tell you right now, boo, you're not driving nothing because Madison's ready for you. And the reason why she's ready for you is because Allan didn't give her a pass. She wanted to sit in Allan's face, bat her eyelashes, sling her hair around, and get Allan to forgive her. But Allan has not released her in forgiveness, and so sure her ass is stuck. And I don't care how long she stays with David until she gets that from Allan to be okay with this and be able to bat her eyelashes and try to get him to change the way that he feels about this situation. This how it's gonna be. Y'all, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I appreciate y'all. This is a long video. So if you're cleaning up or cooking cakes, wink, wink, enjoy the video. I love you all so much. And until we meet again on Saturday, y'all, it's going to be on and popping because we're doing a panel. Y'all be careful out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.